Welcome back to Real Sports Talk, home of the realest sports talk. I'm your host, Run It Up, Rue, and today is an off-season, all 32 preview special. Carolina Panthers. We about to break them boys down, right? Everything you need to know going into the off-season, how they looking to get better, what they need to do to get better going into the 2025 season. Plus, I got a live mock draft for y'all. We finna get into all that and more. Let's go. The Carolina Panthers finished the NFC South 5-12. That was good enough for third in the division. That tells you how bad the division actually is. But there was future, there was some promise at the end of the season, and that's all due to this guy right here, Bryce Young. That's right. Bryce Young was able to turn it around in the second half of his season. Should I say after he was benched? So yeah, the second part of his season, my man had only one big time throw before week 8. He finished with 27, tied for 7th in the NFL. Now that's according to PFF. He passed for 2,403 yards, 15 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, and finished with a passer rating of 82.2. But his biggest improvement, I think we all can agree, was his confidence. When he got back into that huddle after being benched, he showed more poise, he showed more leadership, and he showed more understanding of what the fuck was actually going on the field, where players were supposed to be. It felt like he started taking more accountability for himself and his actions and not just leaning on, well, I'm a dude, I believe and trust in what Dave Canales says. Now, he still says those same things, but you do see a change in the way he approaches his job on the field. And I believe it's also he's also doing that off the field, probably in the locker room. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he's one of their top dogs, his top leaders in the locker room, but he's not the silent pup in the corner of the room no more. You know what I'm saying? He got a voice, and I believe he's using it. But is he renting this position, or is he gonna own this position? Like, if they throw him the keys, right? Obviously, but I feel like he's that teenager who's only comfortable going around the block. He's not even one to test the highway or the interstate with the whip. My man is like cool enough just to be seen from the few people he know on the block. You know what I'm saying? That's Bryce Young in my mind to me. I want him to take off. I think it'll be a shame for Carolina to have to miss out on a franchise quarterback simply because their owner had their eye on a guy that he fell in love with at practice. Not in the game. My boy went to Alabama, surrounded by supreme talent up and down that roster. So he had to have some talent to get there in the first place. I never thought he was a bust. I thought the franchise was a bust last season. I thought the way they handled business was a bust. But that's just my opinion. Now, Dave Canales, he's surprising me. Honestly, Dave Canales is surprising me, and I'll tell you why. When he was hired, the reason why he was hired, I believe, is because he said, I can fix Bryce, I can work with Bryce. And I was hesitant because to win in the NFL, you need a guy who can take on all factions of the team. And Carolina had a lot of issues, not just on the offensive side of the ball, not just in the quarterback room. But he seems to be a leader of men. He seems to have a philosophy and determined to stick to that philosophy, even if it's not the most obvious or celebrated choice. So I'm very surprised by Dave Canales, but in a very good way, in a healthy way. You've seen what he was able to do with his short stint with Baker Mayfield in Tampa Bay, And I think he definitely has the trust of Bryce Young. And I think those two guys paired together could end up really working going towards the future. I think one thing we need to do with these quarterbacks is stop expecting them to be the greatest player to touch the field as soon as they get in the league, even if they're drafted number one overall. Because first of all, teams suck at drafting. Teams suck at drafting, and more times than not, teams luck up into players. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. We lucked into CeeDee Lamb. We lucked into Dak Prescott. Some could say Dak hasn't gotten us anywhere yet, but we're not looking for we haven't been looking for a quarterback for the last 8 to 9 years, 10 years. So there's something to say about getting your guy and then getting on the journey of trying to get to a Super Bowl. So I think Dave Canales right now is setting the preset for what could be something big in Carolina. I think if the owner steps back and actually allows Dave to implement his system, continue to bring in his kind of guys, people that love to be in Carolina, I think that'll ultimately work in Carolina's benefit, because one thing that we all can feel from the outside looking in is that they're not only lacking leadership, but they're lacking um, identity. Who are the Carolina Panthers right now? They're one of the newest teams in the NFL, so that it's not like they have a rich philosophy or a rich history or a background, right? So it's easily to get lost bringing in the wrong kind of people into the locker room. So I think going into the offseason, one of the big things for Dave Canales is just to continue to build on the relationships within the building. Make sure you're bringing in high value character guys that believe in your system and are happy and excited to be in Carolina. You don't want somebody you don't want nobody who's always looking for the next best thing. They want to make this work right here. They want to make this moment count. So I think those are the kind of players that Dave is looking for. So it'd be interesting to see who he actually targets in the draft, free agency. Is he going for splashy names, or is he going for more substance? For all the reasons that I just mentioned. And also to fill the holes, the obvious holes that the Carolina Panthers have. So those would be the kind of players that Dave Canales will be looking for. I think his expectations going into the 2025 season are pretty simple. Continue to build on the second half of the season with Bryce Young. Continue to pump him with energy, continue to motivate him, continue to look at the ways to make him be the best version of himself, and for the rest of the team to develop the young stars that they already have in place, but the ones that they're about to acquire in the draft, and get out there in free agency. Start adding some key veteran players to that locker room. Some players that can not only come in and believe in what Bryce Young is trying to build up, but want to help build him up in the locker room. Build just high character, valued guys, in the locker room. So I can see that being high priority in Carolina, and I think winning 8 games would be just tremendous for Carolina. A huge step in the right direction. A huge step in the right direction. If they can take this team who just finished 5-12 and win 8 games, that's not 500, but it's better than where you are. And the thing about it is, I think there's two ways you can go about winning in the NFL. You can go the Los Angeles Rams way, throw all your chips in the middle of the table, acquire a veteran, say my team is good enough to win right now, we just need a guy. Or you can try and grow organically. Now, although Carolina Panthers threw a lot of chips just to acquire Bryce Young, it's still a draft pick. They're still growing organically. They didn't go draft Bryce Young and then paired him up with a whole bunch of veterans. Now, yeah, they have Adam Thielen, but he was a veteran already on the team, I believe. Or he might have been a veteran brought in, but it's not like they surrounded him with premium veteran talent that was ultimately like you could look at the Carolina Panthers and say, yeah, they're primed and ready to go. They just needed a quarterback. No, the Carolina Panthers are growing organically. So it's going to take time, but you want to make sure that you're seeing things go in the right direction. So for me, winning 8 games is a big step in the right direction, especially with Bryce Young and seeing his problems that was going forward. It was last season was not last season, 2 seasons ago was terrible for Bryce Young. His rookie season was just absolutely terrible, and the first 2 games of his second year was terrible. Got benched, and he just gathered himself together. So I believe in Bryce Young. Um, I believe that, is he going to win them the Super Bowl? No, but like I said, growing organically means getting your team to another level, which is a competitive level, which is them running into the playoffs every season. Now we're trying to build our team and really prime them and shake them so we can go for that Super Bowl run. You don't go from, how many teams have you seen go from last to first and win the Super Bowl? Not too many. Not too many. And the teams that did, they pushed the chips in. See what I'm saying? So you can't rush the process, nor should you look to. So Carolina free agents going into the 2025 season will be linebacker Shaq Thompson, offensive guard Austin Colbert, safety Xavier Woods, offensive lineman Brady Christensen, QB Andy Dalton, notable potential cuts, running back Miles Sanders. 2 disappointing seasons, so it's really no surprise there. They're going to be looking to get younger at that position. They drafted Brooks last season, but he's been a kind of hurt guy. So they're definitely going to be looking to double dip into this draft for a running back, most likely. So Miles Sanders will be a notable potential cut, as well as defensive tackle Shy Tuttle. He hasn't done much. Cutting him would save $3.3 million. So he's probably out of here. Wide receiver Adam Thielen. He had a strong end to last season, but Carolina may want to get younger at that position. I can see Adam Thielen being a cap casualty there. Now, this salary cap in Carolina is projected to be $19 million. It's nothing to brag about, but it's not poverty either. Maybe with some flexibility with some contracts, maybe they could add to that cap number. But it's projected to be $19 million in cap space. Now their team needs is edge rusher, linebacker, and wide receiver. In no particular order, but edge, linebacker, and wide receiver are the team needs. Now their free agent targets, right? They're free agent targets that they may be looking to acquire in no particular order. Wide receiver T. Higgins, linebacker Khalil Mack, defensive lineman Milton Williams, safety Javon Holland, and nose tackle Poona Ford. Those are some guys that I believe the Carolina Panthers could be looking to target in this offseason to bring in and kind of bolster their roster. These guys, I don't think, besides T. Higgins and maybe Milton, I don't see anybody really looking to try and grab the bag. So keep your eye out on these guys here. Now, when it comes to the draft, The Carolina Panthers draft position, round one, they go eighth. Round two, 57th. They got that from the Rams. Round three, 74th pick overall. Round four, they got two picks, one from my Cowboys. Uh, round round five, they got three picks, one from the Giants, one from the Ravens, and the other one is their own pick. And round seven, they have one from the 49ers. The, the draft pick is in. Some potential draft targets for the Carolina Panthers. No particular order. Y'all tell me in the comment section if y'all think these players that I'm about to mention are some players that Carolina may be looking to bring in during the draft. For me, it starts with Mason Graham out of Michigan, defensive tackle. I think grabbing him, pairing him up with Brown on that defensive line would just go crazy. And y'all defensive line would be one of the best in the NFL for sure if y'all grab Mason Graham, defensive tackle out of Michigan. Um, Cornerback Will Johnson as well out of Michigan will also be a great pickup. I know you guys are trying to get younger but more stable at that cornerback position. You got Horn out there. I know you was looking to get Gilly back last offseason, but I think you guys will be looking to get younger overall at that cornerback position and maybe more healthy, a lot more healthy. So cornerback Will Johnson from Michigan could be a pick at 8 for the Carolina Panthers. Travis Hunter, dog. I think it's a sweepstakes winning if you get this guy. He plays wide receiver and cornerback. He's playing both sides of the ball in college. I'm not sure how that's going to translate to the NFL. I think either he'll play cornerback and have some wide receiver packages, or vice versa, have some play wide receiver and have some cornerback packages. If I was drafting him to my Cowboys, I would want to see him at cornerback. I seen today that he's going to be going through drills at the combine as a defensive back. I think that's a smart move. I definitely didn't see too many route skills from him. I think he's just an overall playmaker. Get the ball into his hands, and he's going to do his thing. So yeah, going as cornerback, I think is a smart move, not only for him but for the organization that picks him. So Travis Hunter coming to you guys at pick 8. What y'all feel about that? How would y'all like that? Now another dog right here. Penn State edge rusher Abdul Carter, rocking the number 11 like my man Michael Parsons, also a former Nittany Lion, Penn State Nittany Lion. So, what y'all feel about Abdul Carter? He's a monster. He's a dog. They're looking at him like one of the premier first round draft picks in this draft right here. Highly talented. So I don't see him dropping to my team at 12. Somebody before us is going to get this guy, and he's going to be a stud for them. How would y'all feel about drafting Abdul Carter? Penn State edge. Next is Georgia's edge, Mikael Williams. Mikael Williams. How y'all feel about Mikael Williams? Another high talented player coming into this draft right here. Somebody that I think the Carolina Panthers could be looking to pick. I don't necessarily think he's the pick for them at 8, but I do feel like depending on how the board falls in front of you guys, depending on if these teams really like these quarterbacks or not, Mikael Williams, he could definitely be a pick for you guys. Georgia safety. I'm sorry, that was Georgia safety, Malachi Starks. I don't know what I was doing. Malachi Starks, that was. Now, I'm about to throw this mock draft on. We only doing 3 rounds real quick. Real quick. No trades. No trades. I'm going to let y'all know that right now. No trades. All right, so let me throw that up here. right. So I already got the Carolina Panthers selected. 3 rounds selected. I got the draft speed on fast. Just doing some backroom stuff real quick. Okay. Well, that's how we playing it then. All right, let's get into it. So 3 rounds, no trades. So we're gonna reject this one. Picking at 8, let's just see who went before us. All right, so they do love the quarterbacks in this draft. Shador goes first to Tennessee. Cam Ward goes second to Cleveland. Travis Hunter to New York. He's in the Big Apple. Abdul Carter goes fourth to New England. That's a good pickup for them. Will Campbell, Jacksonville. That's a good pickup for those guys right there. Offensive line, they need that. Ted McMillan goes to Las Vegas, and James Pierce goes to the Jets. So this draft board is looking really good for us right now. All right. So it says, our team needs its safety, OC, so the center, cornerback, edge, and QB. QB still on the team leads. All right. So we got Mason Graham right here, defensive tackle from Michigan. He was just on the list that I showed you. Ashton Genty at 8, Carolina Panthers. They are looking to run the ball. Brooks has been injured. Could they go with Ashton Genty? Mikael Williams, Georgia, edge. He's also was on my slideshows. So is Malachi Starks. Will Johnson was also on there. So they got a lot of options at 8. Luther Burden. Oh, Tyler Booker, offensive guard. They can build that lineup. What are we doing, Carolina Panthers fans? Mason Graham, Ashton Genty, Mikael Williams, Malachi Starks, Will Johnson. All right. I know what you guys need. And I'm going cornerback, Will Johnson. Y'all tell me in the chat if y'all agree with that pick right there. Will Johnson to the Carolina Panthers at pick 8. I think you guys got a stud there. We're rejecting all trades here. We're rejecting all trades. Let's see how the boards fall into us. So we just picked up a cornerback. So that's off the need. We need an edge. I think they also could be looking, like I said, they'll be looking to get younger at that wide receiver position. Isaiah Bond, Alec Ayumanar is also a standout guy from Stanford. Could be the pick here. Could be the pick here. Now they have some studs. Deion Walker, defensive tackle from Kentucky, is really good. So is TJ Sanders. They got Trayvon Henderson at running back. What could they do here? What could they do there? If I was on the board with Carolina Panthers and this is how the board was looking, I think I'm going Isaiah Bond, wide receiver, Texas, or Alec Ayumanor from Stanford to get Bryce more weapons, some younger. I think they would go with Ayumanor just because he's a bigger body, kind of bigger route runner. He has the tools to be a hidden gem in the NFL draft. Despite playing and struggling a Stanford offense, he showcased impressive downfield ability, fluid athleticism, and the power to win in contested situations. His natural movement and route running skills make him an intriguing prospect. With the right opportunity, he has the potential to emerge as a valuable playmaker at the next level. Yeah, so I think I'm going with Alec Humanor here for them guys just to get Bryce Young another weapon. So the last pick, we're rejecting these trades. All right, let's see how this board's falling. Deion Walker is still there in the 3rd round. That's crazy. Okay. Could they be looking to get a linebacker here? Barrett Carter for Clemson. Deion Walker, that's just staring at me because I'm not even understanding why he's still here at pick 74. Jalen Royals, Tate Ratledge, offensive guard. He's a good one. Um, Let me see if they get busy with the edge real quick. Jared Ivey, Ashton Gillott. Uh, I don't like any of these guys over who's available. Uh, we already got the Lathan Ransom from Ohio State is still there. Kevin Winston. I'm gonna go Jared Ivey, Old Miss, defensive end. So you got your cornerback, you got your wide receiver, and you got your edge with your first 3 picks in the draft. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about that. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about that right there. We got the cornerback, wide receiver, and we got the edge. So those fills 3 very key holes for the Carolina Panthers. I think I did good with that draft. Y'all let me know in the comment section how y'all was feeling about it. I was feeling pretty good, though. I was feeling pretty good about it. So, we're going to do right now is look at um, we're going to look at their schedule going into 2025. So there you see the schedule right there going into 2025. It's not bad. It's not bad. Actually it's a pretty rough schedule. It's a pretty rough schedule. This is a dog schedule right there, So they got their divisional opponents, which is the Atlanta Falcons, the Saints, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But other than that, I think all these other teams are going to be greatly improved. LA Rams have seen to reignite that fire. Seattle, with McDonald out there, is just getting even more comfortable within his situation. I think Actually, I think Seattle could step back next year, so I think that's a win for them. My Dallas Cowboys, we already know that's a loss for the Carolina Panthers. I got to keep that real. This is Real Sports Talk, home of the realest sports talk, and the Dallas Cowboys going to whoop that ass once again. But the Buffalo Bills, they're going to whoop your ass. Miami Dolphins, probably going to spank that ass. Now, the Cardinals, I think Bryce could battle on that one. I think Bryce gonna battle on that one. Matter of fact, I'm calling right now. I think Bryce Young win. I think Bryce Young win against the Cardinals. San Francisco. You gonna lose, but I don't think they're gonna whoop your ass. Green Bay. Green Bay. Green Bay. That's a loss. New England Patriots. Y'all gonna fight that out. Y'all gonna fight that out. 2 young quarterbacks. I can't call it. Can you let me know in the chat how y'all feel about that Patriots Carolina Panthers game? Those 2 young quarterbacks right there with up and coming rosters. I can't call that right now. The Jets. We don't know who they're gonna have at quarterback. So we don't know. 2BD. 2BD. And the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think that's a who knows? Who knows with Jacksonville? That's for another day, right? Another video. Man, ultimately, they went 5-12 last season. I see them winning about, going 6-11. I can see that. Is that a drastic improvement? Not at all. That would be cause for concern. Um, I'm still skeptical when it comes to Carolina Panthers. Um, when it comes to Bryce Young, I'm just not sure yet. He did end the season on a good note, but let's see how he's able to start the regular season off if he's able to have that same uh, kind of trajectory. if it can continue on the same kind of trajectory. So it'll be definitely interesting to see that. So yeah, right now I gotta call it like a 6-11. You know, like a 6-11. Well, that ends my video right here, the Carolina Panthers offseason preview show. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm still on the hunt for 100 subscriptions. This channel is growing organically. No rush at all. I'm not counting any likes, dislikes. I'm not looking at the comments, although I am a fan and appreciate every single one of them. But this channel was for me. This was my venting session. Hopefully everybody can enjoy these videos that I'm gonna keep pushing out. My biggest thing is consistency, and instead of talking about it, I'm just gonna show y'all. Man, it's been real, and as always, I thank you.